Hi! Welcome back to Beyond the Classroom. For today's video, we are going to create a basic 2D AutoCAD drawing. Stay tuned because I'm gonna tell you how to use the modify tools, including how to use the drawing tools, and of course, I'm going to show you how to put dimensions in our drawing. Before we start, I'm going to show you how would be the output of our tutorial for today. So this is our plate number 1. This is the plate number 1 for my students at Carlos Hilado Memorial State College. So you are looking into an object 1 with this following features. So I have here, if I off the dimension, as you can see 1. I will explain layers for the next video. But for now, this is the first object. So you can see this is circles with different parts, so you can see there's a lot of circles, and we'll be able to do that using the dimensions here. In AutoCAD, there are 100 ways to do it. So you can start from this going here, or you could also start from there's going down here, or otherwise. But before that, please don't forget to subscribe and click the bell for the notification. Thank you for all the support, and let's going to do this. Alright, so we're going to start a new file and we're going to make this as our reference. Alright, to start a new file, I'm going to click here at the application menu. If you are new to AutoCAD, please click the link below. I have included the last video of how to open AutoCAD using metric, and I am still using millimeters. That's it. Alright, so here it is now. So I'm going to start at our reference. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to create the first circle with the diameter 16. So to do that, here at the drawing ribbon, if you could see the circle, and if I click this left down, there's a lot of ways to create a circle using radius, diameter, 2 point, and so on. Since our given is in diameter, I'm gonna click this circle, left click, or C in the shortcut keyboard, C enter. I'm gonna left click here, and then you would see that our AutoCAD says center point. If you do not see that on your AutoCAD, you make sure that down here at the status bar, this dynamic input is on, so it is highlighted in blue. I'm gonna left click here. Alright, and now the AutoCAD says specify diameter of the circle. So diameter is 16. I'm gonna hit 16 on the keyboard and click enter. So this is now the circle with 16 diameter. How do we know that? So I'm gonna skip some tips. I'm gonna go here at the annotation. My tip for my student is every time they draw something, I want them to put dimensions so that they are sure that the accuracy is 100%. Alright. So down here, to put dimensions and to inquire if this circle is accurately 16 in diameter, if I left click here, there's a lot of dimension. So linear, aligned. Okay, I'm gonna click here diameter, and then I'm gonna left click this circle and move down up. As you can see, there is 16 diameter. So we have created a circle with diameter 16. Alright, so next, I'm gonna create the next circle parallel to this one. So the distance from this circle to the next one is actually 80 millimeters. So how do I do that? So for this example, I'm gonna create a line from the center point of this circle. So to aid us in creating drawing, I want you to go down here at the status bar. This is the snap. Alright. So if there is no object snap there, you just have to click this 3 and select that. So as you can see, everything in my snap is checked. So if there's none, this is how it looks like. I'm going to select it and then OK. So what is the object snap does is it helps us to identify center point, end point, midpoint, and nodes for us to create lines faster. So I'm gonna create another circle with a diameter of 22 and 40 with a distance of 80 from this one. I'm gonna click line, or you can left click here at the draw ribbon, or L on the shortcut keyboard, And then you can click enter or spacebar. It does the same, your choice. I'm gonna click enter, and then it says specify first point. So my first point, if I hover on my circle, there's a cross on the center. That is the center point. That is what this object snap do. If I off this one, there will be no center point here. So make sure it is on. Left click on the center point. Okay, and then you see that green arrow. That is called polar tracking. So you can see that is parallel to 0 degrees, 90, and so on. So if you see green, that's parallel. I'm gonna type distance 80. Alright, 80 on the keyboard and enter, and then press escape. So this line represents from the center point going to the end point of the line is actually distant 80. I'm gonna create another circle which is diameter 22. So I'm gonna click C, enter, left click on this end point. I'm gonna type the diameter. So if you can see, AutoCAD says specify radius. So I don't have to divide it. I'm gonna click down here at the radius. Here, left click, and then I'm gonna type 22 on the keyboard, enter. So this is now the circle 22. I'm gonna create another circle from the same center point, which is diameter 40. So C, enter. Alright, left click, and then I'm gonna specify diameter. I'm gonna click diameter here. Gonna type 40, and that's it. So I just created two circles from same center point. Alright, so let's move on. I'm gonna create another circle, a big circle with a diameter of, let me see at the reference. At this moment in time, I'm gonna go back here at the reference point. What we just have made is this circle. I'm gonna change the color so you can see where are we at now. Alright, and then I'm gonna make it thicker so you could identify it. I'm gonna on the distance. Alright, so this moment in time, we've made this circle and this two circles. So we have created 3 circles. So the next thing that we're going to do is to create this circle. So from our references, from the center point of these circles, it is 34 going to this center point of this one. So the distance is 34 and the circle diameter is 58. So let's do it. I'm gonna switch back in. Alright. Alright. So the center point is actually, let me see it again, 34 and 40. I'm gonna create that. Okay. So I'm gonna create a construction line. A construction line is a line that is extended towards the whole AutoCAD drawing. So how to do the construction line? I'm gonna hit XL on the keyboard. That's the shortcut. X line, XL, enter. And I need a vertical one. I'm gonna type V, enter. And there it is. Now there's a construction line that extends to the whole drawing area. So I'm gonna drop it here, left click, and escape. So if you escape from a certain command, you notice that this crosshair goes back to its default, which is the cross with a little square on it. Alright, so I have created a construction line. What I'm going to do is to find the center point of this circle. So what I'm going to find is this center point. It is located 40 mm from here and 34 going down. Again, it's 34 going down from this center point, and from the center point going left, it is 40. Alright, okay, so I'm gonna create a line here with distance 34 and 40 for this one going left. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna create another line or another construction line. We are going to use this modify ribbon. Alright, so the first thing, I'm gonna show you how to offset file. Okay, so as you can see, this is what the offset looks like. So you can see if I left click, hover on it on a mouse, you can see what it does. So it's just offset a certain line, parallel lines, circles, and so on. So to do that, I'm going to show you on the keyboard shortcut, type O for offset, and then enter. And then the AutoCAD say specify the distance that you want to offset. So the first thing that I'm going to offset is this construction line. It's 40 from here going here. So I'm gonna type 40, enter. And then I'm gonna left click this one because this is what I'm going to offset. Left click here and left click on this side. Alright, so that is 40 from here going there. Easy, right? So this time we're gonna offset this one. The distance is 34 from this center point going down. So O again, enter. This time it is 34, enter. I'm gonna left click this one and left click down here. So now this is the center point that we are looking for. See that one? So from the center point, we're going to create this circle diameter 58. So see on the keyboard, enter. This is our center point. And we're going to click this diameter, and that is 58 on the keyboard, enter, and that's it. Alright, 58, right? Yeah, 58. We're good. Okay, so the next thing we should do is to find this little minute circles over here. So that the distance is actually 8 in diameter, and from the center point it is, let me see, there's another circle that is 36 in diameter. Alright, so first we have to make this circle 36 to create that 8. Alright, so another circle from the same center point. This is, let me see the reference again, 36. C, enter, 36. Oh, I forgot to click diameter. C, enter. I'm gonna click the diameter, 36, enter, and that's it. So this is actually, I'm gonna go here at properties. I'm gonna change our line type. I'm gonna click others and load. Left click, and then all the alphabet of lines will show up, so you have to choose one. I'm going to create a center line. Okay, and this will show up. Okay, so we just load the line. I'm gonna select this one and change the properties into a center line. Alright, you see it was broken. I'm gonna hit MO on the keyboard, that's properties, and hit enter, and this will show line. So I'm gonna change this line type scale into 0.5 so that the broken lines should be even more. Alright, that's 0.1, that's 0.2, 0.3. Okay, better. Alright, and you can also change the color here without changing the layer. So you can see that is our center line. So from this circle, we're going to create those little circles with the diameter of 8. So we just created these and this one. Alright, so the diameter is 8. I'm gonna create a circle here. I'm gonna change the line type scale first. It's MO. Change it to 0.2. And we're good. Alright, so the first circle goes down here and the diameter is 8. Enter. So I'm not gonna create little circles one by one. So you can see at our reference, the circles is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what I'm going to do is to actually use another modified tool, which is array. So if you can see here, this is array, and there are 3 types of array in AutoCAD 2021. There's polar, path, and rectangular. So we need circles. I'm gonna use polar to do that. I'm gonna left click here, this circle, because that's what I'm going to do, an array command, and then I left click here at the drop down arrow. I'm gonna click polar because I want to surround it on a certain path. Left click, And then AutoCAD says specify center point. So the center point is this cross. I'm gonna left click here and voila. Alright, great, right? So you can see here, I could also adjust the number of circles. So if I change this number to 8, there would be 8 circles. So since I only need 6, I could click enter. And actually you could change the distance between them in angles or certain degrees. So it's convenient, right? I'm gonna close this one, and that's our little circles. And we are almost there. So if you have trust issues of what you have done, you could always click dimensions here at the diameter. And by the way, in AutoCAD, the last command that we have encoded is also the next command if you click enter. So the last command was diameter dimension. If I click enter on the keyboard, AutoCAD will just follow the last command, which is dimensioning. There, and there, and this one, and we're good. We're almost there. So for you to see what we have done, I'm gonna change the color of this circle to identify that these are the object lines that we have created. So to do that, I just click one and change the color. I'm gonna click again and change the line weight so you could see the difference. And nothing happened, but if I left click on this show or hide on the status bar line weight, you would see that the yellow begins to thicken. So I'm gonna left click and add another. Alright, so to do that, I'm gonna change also the properties. I'm gonna hit MA on the keyboard, that's match property. I'm gonna click enter, left click this one. This is the source of what the properties I want to transfer, and then gonna left click everything that I want to follow. Alright, so the arrays objects did not follow. I'm gonna explode them. Explode means you will change the entity one by one. So this time it is one entity because if I left click on the circle, they're a family. So how to explode? There's actually explode here at the modify ribbon. Okay, left click, and you can see you could click it one by one. So I'm gonna apply this property so you could see the difference of what we have made. Alright, we're almost at it. So the next step is actually the circle above. This one. So how to do this one? Alright, so the distance from here is also 34 and it's also 40. So it's just the same as up here, just that this circles inside is actually diameter 10, not 8 down here. And the radius of this smaller circle is 20. Alright, it's the same center point. So what we are going to do is just offset this going up 34. Again, offset is O on the keyboard, enter. 34 distance, enter. Left click this one and move it up. So this is the center point that we are looking for. So C on a keyboard, or you could also click here, C diameter, and type the diameter of the circle that you want. So 58. And the next circle is 20 and 10. Right? So same center point. I'm gonna left click diameter, 20. Oh, let me see it again. It is actually radius. Radius. So not diameter. So it's quite small. So the radius is 20. Alright. Easy. And the diameter of this circle is, small circle is 10. I'm gonna click diameter. You make sure that the exact size is what it is done in AutoCAD. So you just have to follow if it's diameter or radius. Okay, let's do it again. I'm gonna match properties. Now this one and this one. In the circle, this one is the same center point, line weight. We're almost at it. So the next step is also to polar array this circle. Left click, click polar array, specify this center point, left click, and voila, we're almost done. Alright, so what is left is actually this arc and this arc and this arc. So how to do it? So the reference say it is actually 135 degrees from here going there. So how do we do that in AutoCAD? So the first thing we should do that it is, we should know that this here going up, if I put a line on this one. Alright. Okay. So this is actually in 90 degrees. And if I input this one, this actually here going here is actually about 90 degrees or 45 degrees if I'm not mistaken. Alright, so this is actually 45 degrees from this 90 degrees line that I have created. So down here, I'm gonna go back to our drawing. I'm gonna create a construction line which is 45 degrees. To do that, I'm gonna type XL again on the keyboard shortcut for the construction line. I'm gonna hit enter. This time, I'm gonna type the angle. So the angle is 45. Alright, I'm gonna type enter. XL again on the keyboard. I'm gonna type A. I forgot to type. A is for angle A, enter. I'm gonna type 45, enter. And this is now a 45 degrees construction line. If I left click here at the tangent of the circle, it is actually done. So I'm not gonna do it again. What I'm going to do is to create a mirror construction line here going down. To do that, if you could see here at our modify, we're gonna use another tool. This time this is called mirror. A mirror is actually what the name says. So it just flip certain parts of the drawing that we want on a center point that we also created. Okay, I'm gonna select this one. I'm gonna type MI on the keyboard. MI is mirror, or you can click that one and says enter on the keyboard and say specify the mirror line. So the mirror line is actually the center here going here, which you can see there is now the construction line being mirrored. Left click, I'm gonna click enter, and that's it. So what we're going to do with those extended line that we don't want to use, we're gonna trim that one. So again, here at modify, there is actually trim there. If I left click on this drop down, there's actually extend and trim, they go together. So trim is to cut, extend is to extend line. To trim, you should click on the keyboard shortcut TR on the keyboard and enter. In the lower versions of AutoCAD, you first need to right click once before you left click the thing that you want to trim. But in AutoCAD 2021, just left click to the line that you want to trim and we are good. And then I'm gonna delete this one. Gonna left click. You can hit erase or delete on the keyboard. It does the same. Alright, so now, so how do we do it? So if you could go back here, actually it is not actually pointed. It is radius 20. Okay, so how do we do that? So we don't want to make a circle here. We're gonna use another tool here at modify. It is called fillet. So fillet is actually 3 if you left click on the ground. It does this chamfer and this blend curve. So what does fillet do? It simply rounds or fillet the edge of the object that we want in a certain radius or diameter that we specify. To do that, I'm gonna left click here at fillet. Alright, and then I'm gonna type R for the radius, R, that's R, enter, and then I'm gonna type 20. I'm gonna click enter, and then I'm gonna click this first and this second line, and voila, we're good. If I left click here at annotation, I'm gonna left click here at radius, and I'm gonna select this arc. It's radius 20, and we are almost there. I'm gonna click this one, and this one. So what is missing? So if I'm gonna left click here at the reference, there's also a radius 15 both ways down here. do that, we're going to click fillet again. And I'm going to type answer or answer. And the radius is also 15. Alright, I'm gonna click fillet again or answer 15, answer. I'm gonna click this circle and it does fillet certain line there. I'm gonna hit enter on the keyboard because that's the last command. It is still the command of AutoCAD. And left click and we're done. We're good. So what we're going to do, we're just gonna create those center points that we want. So I still need this line over here. I'm gonna put a line here so I could trim it. PR on the keyboard. Okay, I put a line because you cannot trim something that does not intersect. So I put a line there. Okay, so if I want to trim this construction line, I'm gonna put another line there and line down here so I could trim it so it intersects. Okay, I'm gonna select this one and delete it. Okay, you can also extend line using these points. You can see down here. Okay, so that's the center points. I'm gonna also create a line here. I'm gonna extend it downwards. And I'm gonna match property again. Match property, MA on the keyboard. Left click here and click all the center lines. Control Z or undo. And it follows. Alright. And we're good. Alright, so what's the next step? The next step is actually to make sure that the dimensions is accurate. So we have created a radius and a diameter. So this time we're gonna use a linear dimension. So linear means straight. So I'm gonna left click here and I'm going to identify center points to center points. If you can see, it is 40. Enter. Alright, going down here. So if the AutoCAD does give you another dimension rather than 34 or 40, that means that you have created a short distance or a long distance circle. It depends. So you make sure that every time you do a certain object, you put dimensions so it is accurate. Okay, so what else? So there's actually radius here, 15. Down here, 15. And the last thing is the dimensions using the degrees. This one, so how to put this one? So easy as what we did. So you're gonna find here at the annotation, angular. Okay, for the angle, and you left click here on this center point going to this one, and it would say 135 degrees in angle. If the AutoCAD gives you another angle, that means that your drawing is incorrect. You have to do it again. Alright, so that's it. We have created this 2D plane number 1 object using the draw ribbon here, the modify ribbon here, and also we did annotate our drawings through making dimensions, and we also add these properties ribbon here. We just add a line type and a line weight, and that's it. Thank you for watching. See you at the next video.